The final days of inmates on death row at Goulburn Correctional Center. The last night is always the quietest. Inside Goulburn Correctional Center, when the lights go low and most prisoners are asleep, something different happens on death row. Men who have waited for years, sometimes decades, now know they have only days left. Some pray, some cry, some write letters, some sit in silence, staring at the wall. Tonight, you will hear their final story. Not from movies, not from rumors, but from what really happens. In the final days of inmates on death row at Goulburn Correctional Center, the countdown begins. The morning always starts the same way on death row. At exactly 6 a.m., metal doors shake. Keys rattle. Boots hit the floor. A correction officer walks down the long hallway. Clank, clank, clank. He stops in front of every cell. Count time. Each prisoner must stand. Face the door. Hands visible. This is how every day begins. But for some inmates, this morning is different, because their execution date has been set. For them, the clock has started. In cell 14 sits Marcus Hale. He is 42 years old. He's been on death row for 17 years. When Marcus first arrived, his hair was black. His face was smooth. His voice was strong. Now his hair is gray. Lines cover his face. His hands shake when he holds a cup. He was convicted of murder when he was 25. He has always said he was innocent. The court did not agree. Last week, the warden told him the news. Your execution is scheduled for 10 days from now. 10 days. That is all. 10 sunrises. 10 nights. 10 chances to breathe free air inside a small cage. Then nothing. When Marcus heard the words, he did not scream. He did not cry. He only nodded. Then he sat on his bed for 6 hours without moving, staring at the wall, thinking, remembering, regretting, hoping. On death row, when your date is set, everything changes. Guards start watching you more closely. Medical staff visit more often. Chaplains knock on your door. Lawyers call every day. Everyone suddenly remembers you exist. But it is already late. Across the hall, in cell 22, is another inmate. His name is David Turner. He is 55 years old. He has been on death row longer than anyone else on the block. 26 years. David does not claim innocence. He admits what he did. He says it was the worst mistake of his life. Every night, he whispers, "I'm sorry." To nobody. To everybody. His execution is in 12 days. 2 days after Marcus. On this row, men know each other's dates. They do not say it out loud, but they know. When someone has only days left, the others feel it. The air becomes heavy, like a storm is coming. That afternoon, Marcus receives his first special visit. A counselor. Her job is to help inmates prepare. Prepare for what? For dying. She sits on a metal chair outside his cell. "Marcus," she says softly, "how are you feeling today?" Marcus laughs. Not happy, not funny, just tired. "How do you think I'm feeling?" he replies. She writes something on her clipboard. "Have you thought about your final wishes?" Marcus looks at her. "My wish is to go home," he says. She looks down. She cannot answer that. Later, the prison chaplain comes. A kind old man with white hair. He carries a small Bible. He stops at Marcus's cell. "Do you want to pray?" he asks. Marcus hesitates. He was never religious. But now, things feel different. "Maybe," he says. They pray quietly. No cameras. No audience. Just 2 men and the sound of breathing. That night, Marcus cannot sleep. Every sound feels loud. A door closing. A cough. A distant shout. He thinks about his mother. She died while he was in prison. He was not allowed to attend her funeral. He thinks about his sister. She still writes him every month. He thinks about his childhood. Riding bikes. Playing soccer. Eating ice cream on hot days. A normal life. A life that feels like it belonged to someone else. Down the hall, David is also awake. But he does something different. He writes letters. Stacks of letters. To his daughter. To his brother. To the victim's family. To old friends. Some will never be sent. Some will be. In one letter he writes, "I know sorry is not enough, but it is all I have left." On day 9, everything becomes stricter. No more group activities. No more long walks. Inmates on final watch are kept close. A camera watches Marcus 24 hours a day, even when he sleeps. Even when he uses the toilet, privacy no longer exists. A nurse comes to check his health. Blood pressure, heartbeat, breathing. They must make sure he is fit to die. Marcus thinks this is strange. They never cared this much before. That evening, the warden visits. This almost never happens. The warden stands outside Marcus's cell. You have the right to make a final statement, he says. You can choose witnesses. Marcus nods. He already knows. His sister, his lawyer, a priest. That is all. No friends. Most left long ago. Across the hall, David receives similar news. But he reacts differently. He starts crying. For the first time in years. The guards pretend not to see. They have learned not to stare. On death row, there is an unspoken rule. When a man enters his final week, you treat him gently. Not because he is innocent. Not because he is good. But because he is human. And his time is almost gone. By day 7, Marcus feels weak. Not from sickness. From fear. From thinking too much. From knowing he cannot escape. He whispers to himself. 7 days. 6 days. 5 days. Like counting down to a storm. That night, he hears David singing softly. A slow, sad song. About home. About forgiveness. About peace. Marcus listens in silence. Tears roll down his face. He does not wipe them away. Because for the first time in 17 years, he is truly afraid. And the final week has only just begun. The last visits. Day 6 arrives quietly. No sirens. No announcements. No warnings. Just another cold morning inside Goulburn Correctional Center. But for Marcus and David, it feels heavier than all the days before. Because now, the visits begin. The final visits. At 9 a.m., guards walk Marcus to the visiting room. His hands are cuffed. His feet are chained. Even now, even with 6 days left, they do not trust him. The room is small. Gray walls. Plastic chairs. A thick glass window. A phone hangs on each side. Marcus sits down. His heart pounds. Then, he sees her. His sister, Angela. She looks older. Tired. Her hair is gray in it now. When their eyes meet, she covers her mouth. Tears fall immediately. They pick up the phones. Marcus, she whispers. I'm here. His voice shakes. I didn't think you'd come, he says. I would never miss this, she replies. They talk about simple things. Her job, her children, the weather. They avoid the real topic. Like it does not exist. Like pretending can stop time. After 10 minutes, Angela cannot hold it anymore. Do you want me to believe you're innocent? She asks softly. Marcus looks down. I've told you the truth since day 1, he says. I didn't do it. She closes her eyes. I believe you, she says. But believing doesn't change the system. She presses her hand to the glass. Marcus does the same. Cold glass between them. Always something in the way. Before she leaves, she says, whatever happens, you are my brother. I love you. Marcus nods. I love you too. When she walks away, he watches until she disappears. Then he sits alone for a long time. Across the hall, David also has a visitor. His daughter, Emily. She is 30 now. She was only 4 when he was arrested. She barely remembers him as a free man. To her, he has always been behind glass. Emily looks nervous. She twists her fingers. Dad, she says, I don't know what to say. David smiles sadly. You don't have to say anything, he replies. I just want to see your face. They talk about her life, her apartment, her job, her boyfriend. David listens carefully, like he's trying to memorize every word, every sound, every breath. Finally, Emily asks, Are you scared? David thinks for a moment. Yes, he says honestly, but not like before. Then how? She asks. I'm scared of leaving you, he replies. She cries. He cannot touch her. He cannot hug her. All he can do is watch. That night, Marcus returns to his cell. The visit plays again and again in his head. His sister's face, her voice, her tears. He wonders if he will see her again. The next day, more visits come. Lawyers, spiritual advisors, old friends. Some inmates get many visitors. Some get none. One man down the row receives no letters, no visits, no calls. He will die alone. Everyone knows it. No one talks about it. Marcus's lawyer visits on day 5. He brings files, Documents. Papers. Any new appeals? Marcus asks. The lawyer hesitates. We're trying, he says. That means no. Marcus understands. We found no new evidence, the lawyer continues. The courts have denied the last request. Marcus closes his eyes. So this is it, he says. For now, the lawyer answers. But they both know. There is no for now. David's lawyer tells him the same. No more chances. No more delays. The system is finished with him. By day 4, special meals are offered. The last meal. Each inmate may choose what they want. Within limits. Nothing fancy. Nothing expensive. But something meaningful. Marcus chooses. Fried chicken. Mashed potatoes. Apple pie. Orange juice. His mother used to cook this. Every Sunday. David chooses. Rice. Stew. Fresh bread. Tea. Simple food. I don't deserve more, he says. The kitchen staff prepares the meals carefully. Even they feel the weight. Some refuse to work that day. Others do it silently. No jokes. No laughter. On the night of day 4, Marcus eats slowly. Every bite feels important. He tries to remember the taste. He tries to remember being alive. David barely eats. He pushes his plate away. I'm not hungry, he says. The guard nods. He has seen this before. That night, the chaplain visits both men again. He speaks about forgiveness. Peace. Letting go. Marcus listens. David prays. Some inmates scream. Some sleep. Everyone reacts differently. By day 3, the prison changes. More guards. More cameras. More silence. News reporters gather outside. Families wait at home. Phones ring. Time moves faster and slower. At the same time, Marcus whispers through his bars. David, you still awake? Yes, David answers. Me too, Marcus says. They talk quietly. About childhood. About mistakes. About dreams. Two strangers. Connected by fate. Neither of them knows what tomorrow will bring. But they both know there are only 3 days left. 3 days left. Day 3 begins before the sun rises. At 4:30 a.m., the lights come on. Not bright, not soft, just enough to remind everyone. Sleep is no longer important. Time is. Marcus opens his eyes slowly. For a moment, he forgets where he is. Then he sees the bars, the camera, the gray walls. And he remembers. 3 days, 72 hours, less than 3,000 minutes. His heart starts beating fast. A guard brings breakfast. Dry toast, eggs, weak coffee. Marcus thanks him. The guard nods. His name is Officer Lewis. He has worked here for 15 years. He has walked many men to their deaths. It never gets easy. Doing okay? Lewis asks quietly. Marcus shrugs. I'm still here, he says. Lewis understands. That is all anyone can say. Down the row, David is sitting on his bed. He is holding a photo. A picture of Emily when she was little. Pigtails. Big smile. Missing teeth. He touches it gently, like it might break. On day 3, medical checks increase. Doctors come twice. Blood, heart, temperature. Everything is written down. Every number, every breath. Marcus asks the nurse, why do you care so much now? She pauses. Because it's my job, she says. But inside, she feels ashamed. Later that morning, a prison psychologist visits. His job is to make sure the inmates are mentally stable. Stable enough to die. He asks Marcus questions. Are you feeling hopeless? Do you feel angry? Do you want to hurt yourself? Marcus answers honestly. I feel scared, he says. I feel sad. But I'm not giving up, he adds. The psychologist writes notes. Ticks boxes. Leaves. David tells the psychologist. I'm ready. But his hands shake. In the afternoon, both men are allowed a short walk. 15 minutes. In a small yard. High walls. No sky. Just a square of gray. Marcus walks slowly. He feels the ground. He feels the air. He closes his eyes. This may be the last time he feels wind on his face. David sits on a bench. He looks up. A tiny piece of blue sky is visible. He smiles. It's still beautiful, he whispers. When they return to their cells, letters arrive. Marcus receives one. From a man he met in prison years ago. It says, You matter to me. Don't forget that. Marcus cries. David receives a letter from the victim's mother. It is short. I forgive you, but I still miss my son. David presses the paper to his chest. He sobs. That night, sleep becomes impossible. Every sound feels like a warning. Every footstep feels final. Marcus keeps thinking, what if something changes? What if there's a mistake? What if? But deep down, he knows. David starts talking to himself. Not loudly, just whispers. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Over and over. Day 2 arrives. Only 48 hours left. The warden makes an official announcement. Executions are scheduled for Friday night. Everyone hears it, even inmates who pretend not to listen. More paperwork, more checks, more rules, more silence. Families are contacted again. Witness lists are confirmed. Security plans are finalized. Nothing is left to chance. Marcus calls his sister one last time. 5 minutes. That is all. I'm proud of you, she says, for staying strong. I'm tired, Marcus replies. That's okay, she says. You can rest soon. They both cry. David also makes his last call. Take care of yourself, he tells Emily. I will, she says. I love you, Dad. I love you too, he answers. The line goes dead. That night, Marcus and David talk again. Do you think there's something after this? Marcus asks. I hope so, David replies. I hope it's quiet. Marcus nods. I hope it's fair. They fall silent, listening to the prison breathe. Vent fans, distant doors, footsteps. Day 1 is coming. The final day, and neither man is ready. The final day, day 1 arrives without mercy. No warning, no kindness, no delay, just another sunrise that Marcus and David will never see from outside these walls. At 5 a.m., the lights turn on fully. Bright, white, cold. Marcus wakes up with a sharp breath. For a second, he thinks he is dreaming. Then he sees the clock. 5:01 a.m. Execution day. A guard opens the food slot. Breakfast, he says softly. Oatmeal, milk, toast. Marcus barely touches it. His stomach feels tight, like a knot that will not open. Down the row, David is already awake. He has not slept, not even for 1 minute. He sits on his bed, hands folded, eyes closed, praying. At 7 a.m., medical staff arrive. One last full check. Pulse, breathing, blood pressure. Marcus asks the doctor, am I healthy enough? The doctor hesitates. Yes, he says. Marcus laughs quietly. Good, he replies. At 9 a.m., Marcus is allowed a shower. A real shower. Not the usual 5 minutes. 10 minutes. Warm water. Clean towel. Fresh clothes. He lets the water run over his face. He remembers swimming as a boy, in a river near his home. He wishes he could go back. David also showers. He washes slowly, like he is preparing for something important. Because he is. At 11 a.m., the chaplain returns. He sits with Marcus for half an hour. They talk about life, about mistakes, about hope. You are more than your worst day, the chaplain says. Marcus nods. I wish the court believed that, he answers. With David, the chaplain prays quietly. They hold hands through the bars. David's voice breaks, but he keeps going. Lunch is served at noon. Chicken, rice, vegetables. Neither man eats much. Food no longer matters. By 2 p.m., reporters gather outside. Cameras, microphones, vans. The world is watching. But Marcus and David cannot see it. At 3 p.m., final paperwork is signed. Judges, officials, lawyers, all confirm. No delays, no stops, no changes. Marcus's lawyer comes one last time. I'm sorry, he says. I did everything I could. Marcus believes him. I know, Marcus replies. Thank you. They shake hands. Through bars, David's lawyer cries. David comforts him. It's okay, David says. You tried. At 5 p.m., special guard arrive. They wear darker uniforms. They do not joke. They do not smile. They are trained for tonight. At 6 p.m., final visits. In a private room. No glass. No phone. Just a table. 2 chairs. And guards nearby. Marcus sees Angela. For the last time. She hugs him tightly. They are allowed this once. He feels her warmth. He never wants to let go. I'm sorry, Marcus says. For everything. You gave me love, she replies. That's enough. David hugs Emily. She sobs into his shirt. "Don't forget me," she cries. "Never," he answers. At 7:30 p.m., the visits end. Doors close. Keys turn. Final goodbyes are finished. At 8 p.m., Marcus and David are moved, one at a time, to holding cells near the execution chamber. Smaller, colder, brighter. No windows. Marcus's hands shake. David walks slowly. Both are silent. A guard whispers to Marcus, "You're not alone." Marcus nods, but he feels very alone. At 9 p.m., witnesses arrive. Family, officials, reporters. They sit behind glass, waiting. At 9:30 p.m., straps are prepared. Equipment checked. Everything tested. Again and again. No mistakes allowed. Marcus looks at the ceiling. He thinks about sunlight, about laughter, about freedom. David closes his eyes. He thinks about forgiveness, about peace, about rest. The clock shows 9:55 p.m. 5 minutes left. A voice speaks over the speaker. "Prepare." The door begins to open, and the final moment is about to begin. The last moments. The door opens slowly. Not fast, not loud. Slow, like time itself is afraid to move forward. Marcus is led inside first. 2 guards walk beside him, one in front, one behind. His hands are cuffed. His feet are chained. Every step feels heavy, like walking through water. The room is clean, too clean. White walls, bright lights, cold air. In the center is a narrow bed, with straps, leather straps, for arms, for legs, for chest, for everything. Behind thick glass, witnesses sit quietly. No talking, no phones, no movement. Angela is there. So is Marcus's lawyer. They watch with shaking hands. Marcus lies down. The guards gently guide him. "Easy," one whispers. They are careful, not rough, not cruel, just serious. Strap by strap. His arms are secured. His legs are secured. His chest is secured. Now he cannot move, not even if he wants to. A nurse steps forward. She cleans his arm, finds a vein, places a small needle. Marcus looks away. He hates needles. He always has. The warden enters. He stands straight, reads from paper. "Marcus Hale, you have been sentenced by the court." Marcus barely listens. He has heard this before, too many times. "Do you have any final words?" the warden asks. The room becomes silent. No breathing, no movement. Everyone waits. Marcus swallows. His voice is weak, but clear. "I didn't do this," he says. "I love my family. I try to be good. Please remember me for that." He looks at Angela. "I love you," he whispers. She cries. The warden nods. "Thank you." He steps back. The curtain closes. The witnesses can no longer see. Only hear. In the next room, David is brought in. The same steps, the same straps, the same lights. But his story is different. David looks at the warden. "I'm sorry," he says. "To everyone I hurt." He pauses. "To my daughter, live well." Emily presses her hands to the glass. "I love you, Dad," she whispers. He cannot hear her, but somehow, he smiles. The medical team takes positions. Each person has one job, one button, one switch. No one knows whose button works, so no one feels fully responsible. The warden raises his hand. "Begin." A clear liquid moves through the tube. Slowly, quietly, like water. Marcus feels cold in his arm, then heavy. His breathing slows. His chest rises and falls. Slower and slower. His mind drifts. He sees his mother's face. He hears laughter. He feels sunlight. David feels sleepy, peaceful, for the first time in years. The pain fades. The machines beep. Once, twice. Then, nothing. A doctor checks, listens, watches, waits. He looks at the clock and speaks. Time of death, 10:07 p.m. Silence fills the room. No cheering, no relief, no victory, only emptiness. Angela collapses into her seat. Emily closes her eyes. Guards stare at the floor. The warden removes his glasses. 2 lives are over. 2 stories ended. Inside concrete walls. Later that night, the cells are cleaned. Beds are replaced. Names are removed from records. New inmates will arrive someday. The system continues. But in cell 14 and cell 22, the walls still remember. Because behind every prison number was a human being, with dreams, with fears, with love. And this story is not finished, because many more are still waiting on death row. After the silence, after 10:07 p.m., the prison does not celebrate. There is no bell, no announcement, no smile, only paperwork and quiet. Two guards gently remove the straps, slowly, carefully, like they are afraid to hurt someone who is already gone. Marcus's body is covered with a white sheet. Only his face is left visible for a moment. His eyes are closed, peaceful, like he is sleeping. David's body is treated the same way. Cleaned, covered, respected, no matter what he did. In this moment, he is only a human being. A doctor signs more forms. Time, cause, location. Everything must be written. Everything must be official. Then the bodies are placed on stretchers, wheeled down long hallways, past cells, past doors, past memories. Other inmates hear the wheels. They know what it means. No one speaks. In cell 14, Marcus's bed is empty. The blanket is folded. The cup is still on the shelf. A small Bible lies near the pillow. No one moves it. Yet, in cell 22, David's photo is still taped to the wall. Emily's picture, smiling, waiting. The night shift continues. Guards return to their posts. Doors are locked. Lights are checked. Routine. Like nothing happened. But something did happen. Everyone feels it. Officer Lewis sits alone in the break room. He stares at his hands. They are shaking. He has walked 6 men to their deaths. Tonight was number 7. He whispers, "I'm tired." No one hears. A young guard throws up in the bathroom. It was his first execution. He thought he was strong. He was wrong. The nurse goes home at midnight. She cannot sleep. She washes her hands again, and again, and again, like she can wash away memory. Outside the prison, families gather. Angela hugs her husband. She feels empty, like part of her is gone. Emily sits in her car. She does not start the engine. She just sits and cries. Reporters write stories. Headlines appear. Executions carried out at Goulburn. Justice served. Case closed. But nothing feels closed. Not to the families. Not to the staff. Not to the inmates. Inside death row, the men whisper, "Did you hear? Yeah, it's over. Rest in peace." Some pray. Some stare at the wall. Some feel fear. Because one day, it could be them. The next morning, new names appear on the list. New dates. New countdowns. Time never stops. Cell 14 will soon have a new prisoner. Cell 22 too. Fresh faces. Fresh fears. The system moves forward. Always. But sometimes, late at night, when the prison is quiet, some guards swear they hear voices. Not real voices. Memories. Echoes. Marcus laughing as a boy. David singing softly. Dreams that never escaped. In the chapel, the chaplain lights 2 candles. No one asked him to. He does it anyway. One for Marcus. One for David. He whispers, "May you finally be free." And somewhere, beyond walls, beyond wires, beyond rules, 2 souls are no longer prisoners. But many others still are. Still waiting. Still counting. Still hoping. And their stories are still unfinished. The ones still waiting. The morning after the execution feels strange. Too normal. Birds sing outside. The sun rises. Cars pass by. Life continues. But inside Goulburn Correctional Center, everything feels heavy. At 6 a.m., the usual count begins. Clank, clank, clank. Keys, boots, voices. Stand for count. The guards stop at cell 14. Empty. They write it down. They move on. They stop at cell 22. Empty. Another note. Another line on paper. 2 names erased. Down the row, other inmates stand silently. They know. They always know. No one has to tell them. In cell 5 is a man named Raymond. He is 38. He has been on death row for 6 years. He watched Marcus and David leave last night. He did not sleep. Not even once. When a guard passes, Raymond asks quietly, "Is it true?" The guard nods. Yes. Raymond looks away. His hands start shaking. In cell 9 is Thomas. He is 60. His execution date is next year. But now, it feels close. Too close. He whispers to himself. One day at a time. One day at a time. The empty cells are cleaned. Workers come in. They remove sheets, Bibles, photos, letters. Everything goes into boxes. Labeled. Stored. Forgotten. In Marcus's box is a letter he never sent. In David's box is his daughter's photo. No one reads them. No one touches them. By noon, new inmates arrive. Not to death row yet, but close. They walk past. They see the empty cells. They understand. This is where endings happen. Raymond sits on his bed. He stares at the wall. He remembers Marcus saying, "I hope it's fair." He wonders, is it? That afternoon, the chaplain walks the row. He stops at each cell, offers prayer, offers words. Some accept, some refuse, some just cry. Raymond asks, "Why them?" The chaplain answers softly, "I don't know," is the only honest answer. Later, Officer Lewis returns to work. He looks tired, older, like he aged 10 years overnight. He stops near Raymond's cell. "You okay?" he asks. Raymond shrugs. "Am I supposed to be?" he replies. Lewis has no answer. That night, death row is quiet. No singing, no talking, no shouting, only breathing and thinking. Raymond lies on his bed. He imagines himself in Marcus's place. The straps, the lights, the needle. His heart races. He sits up. "I'm not ready," he whispers. "None of them are." Thomas writes in his notebook, "If this is my fate, I want to leave something good behind." He starts writing letters, like David once did. Another inmate starts drawing. Another starts praying. Another stops eating. Everyone finds their own way to survive. Days pass. Weeks pass. New dates are set. New names are called. The prison never stops. But sometimes, an inmate will whisper at night, "Remember Marcus? Remember David?" "Yes, I do." They keep the memories alive. Because if they forget, it means they could be forgotten too. And on death row, being forgotten is worse than being afraid. Because fear means you still care, still hope, still feel. And hope is the last thing they have. The long wait. On death row, time moves differently. One day can feel like a year. 1 year can disappear like smoke. After Marcus and David are gone, the others are left with nothing but waiting. Raymond starts counting days, not to freedom, to something else. He keeps small marks on his wall. 1 line, 2 lines, 3 lines. He does not know why he counts. He just does. Thomas stops counting. He says, "If I don't count, it won't come." It is his way of surviving. Every morning is the same. Count. Breakfast. Lockdown. Silence. Every night is the same. Lights. Doors. Dreams. Fear. Raymond begins having nightmares. He dreams of bright lights. Cold straps. Voices calling his name. He wakes up sweating, breathing fast. He asks the nurse for help. She gives him pills. "Just to help you sleep," she says. They help. A little. Some inmates become very quiet. They stop talking, stop laughing, stop asking questions. They fade, like shadows. Others become loud. They shout. They argue. They bang on doors. They are scared. Anger is easier than fear. Thomas spends hours reading the same book, again and again. He knows every word, but it keeps his mind busy. One afternoon, Raymond receives a letter from his mother. She writes, "I pray for you every day." He reads it 10 times, then hides it under his mattress. It is his treasure. A new man arrives on the row. His name is Kevin. He is only 24. Young, thin, lost. He looks around with wide eyes. "Is this forever?" he asks. No one answers. Raymond finally speaks. "Not forever," he says. "Just very long." Kevin does not understand yet. He will. The chaplain starts a small group. Once a week. 5 men. They talk. They share. They cry. No one laughs. Not yet. One day, Thomas stands at his door and says, "I'm scared." It is the first time he has said it out loud. Raymond replies, "Me too." That simple answer brings comfort. Months pass. Then years. Hair turns gray. Faces change. Voices soften. Some inmates win appeals. They leave death row. Move to normal prison. It feels like winning the lottery. Everyone celebrates quietly. Others lose. Their dates are set. The countdown starts again. One morning, a guard stops at Raymond's cell. "Pack your things," he says. Raymond's heart stops. "Why?" he asks. "You're being moved," the guard replies. "To another unit." Relief floods him. Not today. Not yet. But he knows. One day, it will be his turn. That night, Raymond whispers into the darkness. "Marcus, David, if you can hear me, give me strength." No answer comes. Only silence. But he keeps hoping, keeps breathing, keeps waiting. Because on death row, waiting is life. And life, no matter how small, is still precious. When a date is set, one quiet morning, everything changes. No alarms, no shouting, no warning. Just a guard standing in front of Raymond's cell, holding a folder. Raymond knows. Before a word is spoken, he knows. His hand starts shaking. "Raymond Carter," the guard says gently, "you have legal mail." Raymond takes the envelope. His name is written in bold ink. Official. Cold. Final. He waits until the guard walks away. Then he opens it. Slowly. Carefully. Like it might explode. Inside is one page. One sentence stands out. Execution date, October 14th. 2 months away. 60 days. That is all. Raymond sits down hard on his bed. The room spins. His ears ring. He cannot breathe. "No," he whispers. But the paper does not change. Across the row, Thomas watches. He sees Raymond's face. He understands. He does not need to ask. That night, Raymond does not eat. He does not drink. He just stares. At the wall. At nothing. The next day, the system begins again. Like it did with Marcus. Like it did with David. More visits. More checks. More papers. More attention. Too late attention. A counselor comes. "How are you feeling?" she asks. Raymond laughs bitterly. "How do you think?" he replies. She writes in her notebook. Just like before. His lawyer visits. Tired. Worried. Honest. "We'll try everything," he says. Raymond nods. He has heard this before. "Do you believe I'm innocent?" Raymond asks. The lawyer pauses. "I believe you deserve a fair chance," he answers. Not the same thing. Raymond understands. His mother visits. She is small now. Weak. Age has bent her back. When she sees him, she cries. "My baby," she whispers. He hugs her. For a long time. "I don't want you to die," she says. "I don't want to either," he replies. They sit in silence, holding hands. Thomas writes Raymond a note. "You are not alone." Raymond keeps it, next to his mother's letter. Kevin watches from his cell. He is scared. If it happened to him, he thinks, it can happen to me. As weeks pass, Raymond changes. He becomes calm. Too calm. Like David once was. He starts writing letters. Many letters. Apologies. Goodbyes. Memories. He gives away small things. A book. A cup. A pen. Signs everyone understands. One night, he tells Thomas, "I'm trying to be brave." Thomas answers, "You already are." 30 days left. Then 20. Then 10. Raymond begins counting again. Not on the wall. In his heart. 9 days. 8. 7. He remembers Marcus. He remembers David. He sees himself in them. And he wonders, will anyone remember me? The final week is coming. And the story is about to repeat. The final week again. 7 days left. That is what Raymond sees when he opens his eyes. Not the ceiling. Not the bars. Just a number. 7. It feels unreal. Like a bad dream. But he cannot wake up. The guards change their behavior. They speak softer. They walk slower. They look at him longer. Like they are memorizing his face. Officer Lewis stops by. "You holding up?" he asks. Raymond nods. "Trying," he replies. Lewis gives him an extra blanket. A small kindness. A big meaning. The medical visits increase. Twice a day now. Pulse. Pressure. Breathing. Raymond jokes. "You never cared this much before." The nurse smiles sadly. "I know." His lawyer calls every morning. "No news yet," he says. Every time, Raymond still hopes. Every time, on day 6, his mother visits again. She brings photos. Old ones. Raymond as a baby. Raymond in school. Raymond smiling. "Look," she says. "This is who you are. Not a case number. Not a file. A son." Raymond holds the pictures. His hands shake. "I'm sorry," he whispers. For everything. She kisses his forehead. I forgive you, she says. Always. On day 5, he meets the chaplain. They talk for hours. About fear. About heaven. About meaning. Do you believe in peace? Raymond asks. I believe in mercy, the chaplain answers. Day 4 brings the last meal for him. Raymond stares at it for a long time. He finally writes. Fried fish. Rice. Plantain. Cold water. Food from home. Kevin watches silently. He cannot speak. He feels like he is watching his future. On day 3, Raymond starts having dreams. Good ones. Bad ones. Mixed together. He dreams of running. Then falling. Then flying. He wakes up crying. No shame. No hiding. Thomas sits by his door. They talk late into the night. You changed my life, Raymond says. So did you, Thomas replies. Day 2 is the hardest. Because there is no more later. Only soon. Final phone call. 5 minutes. His mother. I'll see you again, she says. Somewhere. He wants to believe. Day 1 arrives. Too fast. Too cruel. Too final. The lights turn on. The routine begins. Again, Raymond whispers to himself. Be strong. Be kind. Be brave. And deep inside, he still hopes. For a miracle. For a mistake. For one last chance. Because until the very last second, a human heart never stops hoping. The final message. Inside Goulburn Correctional Center, time never truly stops. It only moves from one name to another. From Marcus to David to Raymond and to many more still waiting. Each cell holds more than a body. It holds a story, a childhood, a family, a mistake, a regret, a hope. Behind every prison number is a human being, someone who once laughed, someone who was once loved, someone who once dreamed of a better life. Some are guilty. Some still say they were innocent. Some are lost. Some are broken. But all of them were human. We saw the countdown, the final visits, the last meals, the last words, the final breath, and the silence that followed. Not just in the prison, but in the hearts of everyone left behind. Mothers, sisters, daughters, guards, lawyers, friends. No execution ends a story. It only moves the pain to someone else. On death row, fear lives next to hope. Every day, every night, every heartbeat, men wait. They pray. They remember. They wonder, will anyone remember me? And now, you know their stories. You know their voices. You know their final days. So they're not forgotten. Because justice is not just about punishment. It is also about truth, about mercy, about understanding, about learning. So tomorrow can be better than yesterday. Somewhere tonight, another inmate is counting days. Another mother is praying. Another family is hoping. Another guard is struggling. Another story is beginning. And until the walls come down, until the system changes, until no one has to wait for death, these stories will continue. This was the final days of inmates on death row at Goulburn Correctional Center. And this is not just their story. It is ours. If this story moved you, if it made you think, if it made you feel, share it. Talk about it. Remember them. Because when we remember, we give them something prison never could. A voice, a name, a place in history. Thank you for listening. And thank you for caring.